Okay, so we're moving right along. We're pretty much coming up to the top of the hour here, so we have to start to bring the lesson to a close. So all we have to do is play way 2. You've seen me do this many times. We're going to do 1, 4, 5 pentatonics, right? So we're up here in this zone. Probably going to start on an E shape, or we could start on a D shape, but an E shape might be easier. Now, this is just an E shape. Where's your fret nut? Your fret nut's right here. Right here. See that 3? That's right here. 3 in the key of C. That would be, okay, it would be a Phrygian, and it would be an E minor shape. Why? Because the E, okay, is the 6th of G. And here's your G shape encaged. To go to the relative minor, you go ahead 1 letter in the word caged. G shape, ahead 1 letter, G goes to E, E minor. Okay, so we're right here. Here's your fret nut. We're going to go 1, 4, 5. So it's, we're going to play it diatonically first. 1, then we're going to go to 4. Now 4 in the G shape. Actually, we're in the G shape here. I'm just showing you the fret nut here, but we're actually over here in the G shape here. Okay, so let's get the drawing tool and make a nice G shape. We're going to use light blue for the G box. Okay, and we're going to be playing short patterns. We're just going to include, we're going to include the Lone Wolf 7 on that G shape. So we're going to be right up here. We're going to be interested in this stuff. Okay, this is as far as we're going to go with this box here. We're in the G box now. E becomes the 6th. It's still the key of G. It's still the key of C. But E becomes the 6th. We'll be up here now. So you're not having to look at this backwards E here. Oh, E's the C, the 3rd of C. Well, it'll never be anything different. Yes, it can be things different. Because you take, if you do a dot scale on that E, go down 2 whole steps, you have the key of C, the key of C, key of D, key of E, key of F, key of B. You have 7 keys that E could be a member. It's 3rd of C, 2nd of D, root of E, 7th of F, 6th of G, 5th of A, 4th of B, and 3rd of the key of C again. So don't feel like you're locked into having that as the 3rd. You have 7 keys to play in, including the minor keys if you want to call them that. That gets complicated. So right here, we're going to start on the G shape here. We're going to go to the 4th of the G. We got G, 4th of G is C, 5th of G is A, is D rather. It's just 1, 4, 5. So we've got a G shape here, going to a C shape on the 4th, to a D shape on the 5th. Okay, that's our 1, 4, 5 there. We're going to play only diatonically in the root string shape, or the root scale, whatever you want to call it, the G, the Aeolian there. Okay, so it's, we start here. Okay. Okay, now we can do our blues from here, because remember that was a G-shaped C. Remember that G shape has that double root? That's still our C right there, our yellow C. So it's, Okay, this is just 1, 4, 5. Now, when we go to the fourth, we're going to want to substitute a pentatonic for the fourth and the fifth. So we go to the fourth there. The fourth of the G shape is the C shape. Pentatonic. I just did a pentatonic off the first, which is legal. You can do a pentatonic, but you can only do a diatonic on the first. You can start anywhere on that diatonic scale and continue up pentatonically or diatonically. But you have to follow the diatonic scale of the root. And we go to the fifth, the D-shaped fifth. We're going to play a D-shaped pentatonic. Okay, so that's 1, 4, 5 pentatonics there without the blues notes. I just want to show you how that worked. Don't worry about the numbers because we're substituting. Okay, so this becomes 6 root. We're substituting in a C shape for this one, so this would become 3. And substituting a D shape in for this one, that becomes 2 again, because if you look over here in any of these D string shapes, right here you've got the 2, 3 right there in the D string shape. Okay, so that substituted in. So we're just looking at the shape. We're almost looking at the white shapes right here, the white key shapes. So this is your C, 6 root 2, 3. Okay, so one more time. We have the top one. We got 6 root 2, 3, 5, 6 root 2. But remember, I can play a diatonic on that top one. Then we have the C. Now we're going to play this shape here. So we're not even going to count. We're just thinking C shape. Always C, you're going to hit this one. That becomes the root in the C shape. And then the D shape. Right here. And we got that skewed S2L there. Okay, so that's the name of that tune. That's 1, 4, 5. We haven't even added in those blues notes yet. Okay, so that's the 1, 4, 5 tripentatonic. Now we want to make it blues. How are we going to do that? Well, notice how we substituted in and made the 4 its new root, made the 5 its own root like that on a pentatonic, okay, in that particular scale. So that was a substitution of shapes, right? We still have to add the blues notes of each of those shapes. Use the 4 and the sub 5 for the 4th and the 5th. So we go up here to our pentatonic. I think I'm going to have to move over here a little bit, but go up here to our pentatonic scales. Now we're still working. I'm better with pentatonics with the short ones, but the long ones work just as well. You know, pentatonic. When we talk about the long patterns, we're definitely going to target the scale degree. So it would be root to 4, but there's no 4 in pentatonics, right? So we would be starting on 5, 6, or we just call the new 4th the root and then play the same pentatonic scale there. So it's we're on this long pattern here, pentatonic. Now remember, we could do, for the root, we could do okay, it'd be 7 root 2 there, pentatonically. Alright, let's push on. We can use the long pattern pentatonics, root 2, 3, 5, 6, and just kind of shoots you into the next cage. So if you're in the E cage here, this is what this long ER, you're going to be bringing it up in the D cage with the 2 there. So it'd be long. Notice it didn't go. See this note here? Can't get that from the open string. And that makes it really powerful. The long patterns are really powerful because you can play in any key. Almost any key. One of 7 keys from the fret nut. But besides that, the point of the matter is here that we can do the pentatonics, but now when we go to the 4th, we're going to play the same scale. Same scale on the 5th. You know, you see this all the time. Had to hit the warp there. You see it all the time, like same scale, just starting from a different note. We're not going 1 flat 3 3 5, and then going 4 flat 6 6. Okay, we don't count that. We're just going to substitute the same pattern, 1 flat 3, and then start the same thing, new 1 on the 4th. Okay, so that's what the substitutions are about, just getting the shapes in there, and that makes the count simpler. So we're only going to be adding that flatted 7th, that flatted 3rd, and that flatted 5th. Okay, so in the pentatonics here, we can do them long pentatonic or short pentatonics. We're also going to be adding in those blues notes. Okay, so without making it too long of a lesson, again, I hope I've explained the way that 4 goes to the new root, 5 goes to the new root. We're going to play the same pattern, okay, but we're going to substitute in the different pattern, right? We're going to go 1 4 5 in the tripentatonic, you know. So when we go to the 4th, C's 4th is E and his 5th is G. Okay, so we're going to pretend like we're starting the, let's say with the C here, 3 5, we're going to pretend like we're starting the E shape here. But you know the E shape means that this is a root here. Here's your E shape, this is the root here. Okay? We go to the G shape from the C shape right there. Look over at the G shape here. We'll find this G shape somewhere right here. That would be the 6th. So the 3rd goes to the 6th. And you know where the roots are. 6 goes up, the root would be the 5th. Because that's it. You're doing the 5th root. So we're going to call it a lesson today. I'm kind of getting my head spinning a little bit. We want to add in those blues notes again when we're doing substitutions. Okay, with the 4th and the 5th in pentatonic, we can add in those blues notes for all 3. We're just going to substitute these shapes and start the thing from the new shape, but from the same string shape on the bottom there, and just add in the same flat 7, flat 5. I can't play these that well yet, but this, and then you do your note bending here. Hey, we're done. The note bending is another dimension in all this. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. It's been a good lesson. Have a great day.